Have you ever wondered what your dream Range Rover would look like if you could build it from the ground up? Not just picking the paint color, but designing it to match your personality, your lifestyle, even your values. Well, that's no longer a fantasy. The 2026 Range Rover is changing the rules of luxury by letting you do exactly that. And this isn't just another SUV upgrade. This is the next step in the evolution of modern car culture, where you become part of the design process. Stick around till the end because we're not just going to break down what's new, we'll also show you how this shift is setting the tone for the entire luxury SUV market, and how it connects to a powerful psychological force every car lover understands: the deep need to express identity through machines. There's something timeless about the Range Rover. It's not just a vehicle, it's a symbol, a quiet power statement, a moving fortress of elegance. For decades, it stood at the intersection of class and capability, where off-road strength meets refined design. But here's the truth about the modern luxury car buyer, especially in 2025 and beyond. They don't just want the best anymore, they want theirs. People don't just buy Range Rovers to drive, they buy them to be seen in, to make a statement without saying a word. And this brings us to something car lovers deeply understand. Cars are more than transportation. They're an extension of who we are. They reflect what we value, what we dream about, and how we see ourselves in the world. This psychological connection between self and machine is what Land Rover is now tapping into. The 2026 Range Rover isn't just offering more features, it's offering more freedom. Freedom to express yourself through design. Freedom to break away from the standard showroom model look. And freedom to say, this is mine. No one else has this exact build. See, according to a study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology, people are more emotionally attached to products they customize themselves. It's called the IKEA effect, and it means we place higher value on things we help create. In other words, personalization doesn't just make your car look better, it makes you love it more. That's why car culture is so personal. Why gearheads spend hours tuning, tweaking, detailing. Why a car show is never just about horsepower, it's about storytelling through metal. Range Rover has taken that truth and elevated it to a new level with the 2026 model. They've understood something that's quietly shaping the future of luxury. Exclusivity isn't about price tags anymore. It's about personalization. Now, we're not talking about just choosing between sport or autobiography. This goes far deeper. It's about finishes that match your home interior. Leathers inspired by your favorite travel destination. Color palettes designed by fashion houses and lifestyle curators. Even software that adjusts to your driving behavior, your preferences, your mood. This is the shift from mass prestige to personal prestige. And it's not a coincidence. It's smart psychology. Studies in behavioral economics show that when people are given more meaningful choices, not just more options but more relevant options, their satisfaction skyrockets. It's not just about picking from a menu, it's about feeling seen. That's the feeling Range Rover wants to deliver in 2026. Because when someone pulls up in their personalized SUV, the question won't be which Range Rover is that. It'll be who designed that Range Rover. That emotional connection from garage to heart is what drives loyalty, passion, and pride among car lovers. So, if you've ever dreamed of building a Range Rover that looks like it came out of your imagination, you're going to want to see what's next. Because the 2026 Range Rover doesn't just offer more customization, it introduces a new philosophy, luxury that listens to you. Stick with us, because in the next section, we're diving deep into exactly what's new, from the materials to the tech, and why this isn't just an upgrade. It's a revolution in automotive design. Stay tuned. The most powerful feeling a car can give you is the sense that it was made just for you. The 2026 Range Rover understands that perfectly. This year, Land Rover has gone beyond what any mainstream luxury brand has done before. It's not just offering customization, it's offering tailored identity. And that starts with how you configure it. Right from the ordering stage, you're greeted by a new personalization interface, developed to let you sculpt every detail. From the type of leather, to the stitching pattern, to the finish of the control knobs, nearly everything is adjustable. And not in a generic choose between three kind of way. We're talking dozens of combinations, fine-tuned to reflect your taste. Let's begin with materials. Range Rover has expanded its library of finishes like never before. You can now choose from sustainable yet ultra-premium textiles, ethically sourced woods, and new-age performance materials that feel both high-tech and timeless. There's an option for ultra fabrics, a synthetic material used in luxury yachts and private aviation. It's breathable, soft, and engineered for durability. The leather options now include semi-aniline, naturally tanned hides, and even eucalyptus-derived materials for those who want sustainability without sacrificing sophistication. And yes, each of these can be color-matched with your dashboard, headliner, and even the floor mats. Why so much focus on materials? Because psychologists have shown that tactile experiences are deeply emotional. The feel of the steering wheel, the texture of the armrest, even the grain of the gear selector, all these small interactions shape how connected you feel to your vehicle. And when those materials are ones you chose yourself, the bond grows stronger. Now let's talk about color. Range Rover isn't just adding a few new paint codes, it's introduced an entire bespoke paint program. This includes over 200 custom tones, many inspired by natural landscapes, heritage models, and modern art. You can even request a color match from a physical item, like your favorite watch, bag, or interior decor. This is where it gets emotional. People are now integrating parts of their lifestyle into the look of their car, a reflection of who they are, on four wheels. The psychology is clear here too. Studies in consumer behavior show that people associate custom colors with personal legacy. It's no longer just a color, it's a story, something no one else has. And for those who want even more exclusivity, Land Rover has expanded its SV Bespoke program, short for Special Vehicle Operations. Here, clients work with design experts directly to co-create their vehicle. You can select embroidery on the seats, add custom badging with your initials, or even choose interior trim inspired by global cultures or rare artwork. This isn't personalization, this is co-creation. But the 2026 model doesn't stop at design, it also adapts to you digitally. With the new Range Rover Personal Profile system, the SUV learns your preferences. It remembers your seat position, ambient lighting color, music volume, and even the cabin temperature you prefer in the morning versus evening. Over time, the car fine-tunes itself. If you regularly adjust the air suspension for rough roads near your house, it'll start doing it for you automatically. If you dim the interior lights at night, it remembers that too. This level of machine learning taps into another key psychological principle: effortless control. Humans love products that understand them. When your vehicle seems to anticipate your needs, it builds trust, the same way a great assistant would. And for audiophiles, there's more. The 2026 model introduces the Meridian Signature Sound System 2.0, with redesigned speakers and acoustic mapping customized for your interior materials. Sound is tuned differently depending on whether you chose leather, fabric, or wood. That means two vehicles can sound completely different, even playing the same song. The seating system now features wellness algorithms. These micro-adjust seat pressure points during long drives to prevent fatigue. Sensors detect posture shifts and adjust the bolstering accordingly. Not only does this improve comfort, it sends a subtle message: your vehicle cares about your well-being. Even the infotainment experience is now customizable. You can rearrange tiles on the 13.1-inch floating screen, set themes that match your mood, or link it to your smartphone's calendar and productivity apps. For the back seat, the executive class seating includes a new control panel allowing rear passengers to adjust lighting, sunshades, massage functions, and even fragrance preferences, all through a clean glass interface. All of this feeds into one deeper idea: you are not adapting to your car adapts to you. Land Rover calls it invisible luxury, features you don't notice but would instantly miss if they were gone. And this shift is deliberate. Research shows that the modern luxury buyer doesn't want complexity. They want depth, but they want it in a way that feels natural. What Range Rover has done with the 2026 model is to remove the friction between desire and experience. This is luxury engineered to feel personal, not programmed. For car lovers, this unlocks something powerful. It's not about showing off anymore. It's about driving a machine that feels like it belongs to you in every way. And that's what sets this model apart. Not speed, not power, not even elegance, but personal meaning. Every car tells a story, but the ones we connect with most are the ones that tell our story. That's why personalization in the 2026 Range Rover isn't just a trend. It's a reflection of something deeply human, something that lives in every car lover's mind: the desire to be seen, understood, and remembered through what we drive. People don't just love cars because of their performance specs. That's only the surface. What truly draws us in, what hooks our attention and loyalty, is how a car makes us feel. And in today's world, that feeling is closely tied to identity. The cars we choose say something about who we are, about what we believe in, about what we want others to see. Psychologists call this symbolic self-completion. It's the theory that we use possessions to complete our sense of self. When something we own reflects our inner values, it makes us feel more whole, more confident, and more real. For car enthusiasts, this is amplified. Because a car isn't just a possession, it's an experience, it's motion, it's sound, it's presence. That's why customization matters. It turns a vehicle from a product into a platform, one that carries not just people but personality. The 2026 Range Rover taps into this psychological drive by giving owners the tools to express their unique vision of luxury. Not a copy, not a variation, but a one-of-a-kind signature. And this isn't just a creative feature, it's emotionally intelligent design. Researchers at Harvard Business School found that when people personalize products, even slightly, their emotional attachment increases. They feel more satisfaction, more pride, more long-term loyalty. It's not about utility anymore. It's about meaning. And meaning is what today's luxury buyers crave most. That's especially true for car lovers who often view vehicles as part of their life narrative. You don't just remember the specs of your first car. You remember how it felt, the smell of the seats, the sound of the engine, the way it fit you or didn't. Range Rover's approach builds on this memory-making behavior. By allowing deep customization, it creates vehicles that are emotionally anchored to their owners. Think about it. When you choose the material of the seats, the exact hue of the paint, the tone of the cabin lighting, you aren't just choosing features, you're building memories before you even turn the key. And that leads to another psychological factor, ownership bias. The moment people invest time and energy into choosing or designing something, they value it more. It becomes theirs not just legally, but emotionally. That's why car enthusiasts spend hours configuring builds online, even before purchase. It's not just dreaming, it's bonding. Range Rover has made this process smarter and deeper. It respects the emotional journey and gives it space to grow. It's also responding to a cultural shift in what we define as luxury. In the past, luxury meant scarcity, expensive materials, rare badges. Now luxury is evolving into individuality. Buyers want something no one else has, not because it's expensive, but because it's personal. And this change reflects a broader psychological need, the need for autonomy. Modern consumers want control. They want choices that feel aligned with their lifestyle, not dictated by a brand's idea of premium. The 2026 Range Rover gives them that control, without sacrificing elegance, craftsmanship, or technology. It's not freedom for the sake of it, it's freedom that feels curated. That's a fine line. Too many choices can overwhelm, but when those choices are well organized, meaningful, and relevant, they create emotional clarity. You don't feel lost, you feel understood. That emotional clarity builds something powerful, brand intimacy. It's the invisible connection that makes people choose one brand over another, even if the specs are similar. Land Rover knows this, and that's why they've positioned the 2026 Range Rover not just as a car, but as a mirror that reflects your world, your habits, and your story. Even small elements, like ambient light settings, massage seat rhythms, or dashboard textures, can become symbols of self-care. When a car knows how you want to feel and responds accordingly, it stops being a tool and starts being a companion. And that's not just poetic. It's based on neurological research. The human brain responds to consistency and emotional recognition. When an object or environment makes you feel secure, seen, or rewarded, your brain releases dopamine. That's the same chemical responsible for feelings of pleasure and bonding. Range Rover's personalization system activates that same loop, gently, over time. From the feel of the door handles to the custom welcome light sequence, each interaction creates emotional momentum. So the longer you own it, the deeper the connection grows. This also builds community. In car culture, individuality and belonging aren't opposites. They coexist. People want to stand out, but also be part of something larger. When you meet another owner whose Range Rover is totally different from yours, there's mutual respect, mutual curiosity, mutual pride. It's not better or worse. It's yours or mine. And that shared appreciation is what drives real brand loyalty in the modern age. Because people don't stay loyal to specs. They stay loyal to experiences that feel made for them. And that's what the 2026 Range Rover delivers. Not just luxury that performs, but luxury that connects. Not just features you can see, but feelings you can keep. The automotive world is changing faster than ever. Electric platforms, AI integration, autonomous features, they're reshaping how we think about cars.
But while technology drives the headlines, something deeper is driving brand loyalty.
And that something is personal meaning. With the 2026 Range Rover, Land Rover isn't just keeping up with the industry, it's reshaping the conversation. It's proving that in a world filled with intelligent machines, what truly matters is the emotional intelligence behind them. This approach isn't accidental, it's a calculated shift in strategy, one that aligns with the psychology of modern luxury, and it's perfectly timed. We've entered an era where consumers are no longer impressed by technical superiority alone. Power is expected, efficiency is required, safety is assumed. What sets brands apart now is their ability to deliver experiences that feel human. Range Rover has tapped into that insight with precision. Rather than flooding the market with limited editions or chasing gimmicky trends, it's chosen to focus on intention. Every update in the 2026 model, from material choices to machine learning, is built around one idea: connection through personalization. That's not just smart design, it's smart business. Because when a product makes you feel understood, you don't just like it, you trust it. And trust is the foundation of long-term brand strength. This is especially true in the luxury SUV market. The segment is more competitive than ever. Brands like Mercedes, BMW, Audi, and Porsche are all refining their high-end offerings. Each brings strong engineering and a recognizable identity. But in a landscape filled with excellence, emotion becomes the differentiator. Range Rover has always stood out with its presence. That commanding silhouette, the floating roofline, the minimalist elegance, it's iconic. But now, that visual power is being matched by personal depth. Owners don't just admire the vehicle from a distance. They feel connected to it, from the stitching they chose, to the ambient lighting that reflects their mood. And that's where Range Rover is building its future. By giving customers the tools to design their own version of luxury, the brand is building loyalty that can't be copied or undercut. Because personalization isn't a feature, it's a bond. And this bond is supported by one more factor: consistency across generations. Land Rover knows its heritage matters. The design language of the 2026 model honors the past without being trapped by it. That balance of tradition and progress speaks directly to a psychological principle called temporal continuity. The idea that people trust products that evolve without losing their core. This continuity creates a sense of emotional safety. Owners feel like they're growing with the brand, not just chasing the latest model. It's not just about what's new, it's about what's next. For me, that shift from mass appeal to personal legacy is crucial. In the coming years, more brands will attempt to follow this path, but Range Rover has an advantage. It already understands the emotional ecosystem of its audience. It knows that its customers aren't looking for attention, they're looking for recognition. They don't need flash. They need something that mirrors their values, their achievements, and their aspirations. That's why the 2026 model doesn't scream luxury. It whispers it in soft materials, seamless transitions, and thoughtful experiences. This quiet confidence appeals to a more refined type of car lover, someone who doesn't need to prove anything but still appreciates having full creative control. And this audience is growing. Today's high-end consumer is younger, more global, and more emotionally aware than ever before. They care about what they drive, not just in terms of image, but in terms of alignment. Sustainability matters. Craftsmanship matters. Personal expression matters. The 2026 Range Rover checks all three boxes. It offers sustainable material options without sacrificing elegance. It delivers hand-finished details without artificial flair. And it opens the door to infinite configurations, letting each owner write their own story on the canvas of a timeless design. This strategic move also strengthens Land Rover's position in the electric future. As the brand transitions toward EV models in the coming years, its personalization strategy will serve as a critical anchor, because electric powertrains tend to blur performance differences between brands. What will set luxury EVs apart won't be 0 to -60 numbers. It will be the experience of ownership, and Range Rover is already laying the groundwork. By creating a system where the car adapts to the driver, where details feel curated instead of programmed, and where every interaction adds to a sense of identity, the brand is building an ecosystem of trust, pride, and emotional value. That's the real future of luxury mobility. Not just faster, not just smarter, but deeper. A Range Rover that knows you, learns you, reflects you, not just a product, but a partner. And that's why the 2026 model stands out. It's not chasing the latest trend, it's defining a new standard. A standard where you don't just drive something beautiful, you drive something that feels uniquely yours. And in a world of lookalikes, that may be the most powerful luxury of all.